Hello out there. We're on the air. Happy Tuesday, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Bitcoin Journey. This show focuses on actionable and logical discussion for Bitcoiners and for future Bitcoiners. I don't know if you can tell, but I got a new, fresh, high quality, good looking. I had to take a picture of the hoodie before I stepped down for the show today. Took a little mirror selfie. It was looking so good. We'll get to that in a sec. But in the meantime, this show is titled "The Bitcoin is Slowly Slipping Away," and it is. And most people are completely oblivious to it, but it's happening right in front of our eyes. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about what we can do. We're going to talk about whatever else needs to be talked about today. And we're going to have a great Tuesday today. How does that sound? How does that sound? Has anybody tried the new Zapstream app yet that we talked about on the show yesterday? Let's see. Let's see if anybody's been checking it out. 0 people in there right now. 0 people. Sad. Sad, sad, sad. Okay. Well, we'll see. Hopefully some people show up in there. Letha's not even in there today. Oh, there's one person. Maybe it's Letha in there. Okay, let's see what we got going on here today. We got first chat. I see some funny going back and forth here. Okay, we got a couple people over in the Zap stream. That's what we're prioritizing today and every day, the Zap stream. I see Josh over there, and I see Into the Orange. Good morning, fellas. Good to see you. And just like my Noster post this morning, it's a great fucking day for a great fucking day. 26 sats for that. That's going to age well. That will age well in a decade from now, or how about in 20 years from now? Noster, because I want to tell Noster that we're live. Oh, shit. Okay, opening a new tab. How about that? Can we do that? There we go. New tab. Nope. New window. New window. There we go. Oh, yeah, we got some zaps flowing in here. Killer 76, first chat of the day. Welcome. Ian says, good morning, 88 sats fam. Arnie and co-host Jor from sunny Cambridge, UK. Happy Tuesday. Keep stacking your future self. Well, thank you. Great words, Ian. Great words, great advice. We got another fella from the sunny UK. Morning. J-Dog. Yeah. So we had these 3 comments all within the same minute here. Killer, Ian, and J-Dog. And Ian said, I even had a comment ready, copy and paste. Everybody's trying to take out Killer for the top spot, but you got to catch him off guard. Him or her, that's it. Yeah, let me get together here. But what? What? There we go. Okay. Sorry. Bit of a scramble here today, but that's all right. We're here. We made it. Great weather indeed. Everywhere. Cleaner Machine, good morning. Hey, Cleaner Machine, I need to email you or just find a way to get a hold of me. I got your hoodie here that I need to ship. Speaking of hoodies, look at this thing. I got a little white thing right there. Oh, a little fuzz. Showed Bridge this yesterday. She said, what's Warab? What's Warab? I said this, Warab's not a thing. It's where are we here? We are right about Bitcoin. Where's the thing here too? No, other side. Oh, what a hoodie. These things are high end. I'm telling you, this is the best hoodie I've ever owned. Fits perfect. It's thick. It looks nice. I don't know what more you could ask for. So these are going to be for sale soon on the Proof of Ink website. But they're not going to be the limited edition ones. They're only going to be the normal ones, the unlimited edition. So I do have 4 of these in stock. Actually, I think 5. I think he sent me one by accident, but 5. So we got 2 larges, 2 XLs, and 1 triple XL. So if you want a hoodie, one of the limited edition ones, you can find a way to get a hold of me. Probably the easiest way to do that would be email. joe@bitcoincitadel.net. Say, I want a limited edition hoodie, and I'll ship it to you. I'm shipping them today. So Cleaner Machine, you'll be getting yours. Who else? Francis was getting one. Catherine, I think. I don't know. Shipping them today. So if you want to grab one of these, we are right about Bitcoin hoodies, and you want it shipped today, let me know. Large, extra large, and triple extra large are your options. So that's in black and cream. Oh, I don't have the other one in here. Shit. Anyways, let's keep her going. Tom, hodl strong, 8-figure Bitcoin someday. Yeah, 8-figure, and then 9-figure, and then 10-figure. And then we won't even know what the price of Bitcoin is anymore. We'll know what the price of sats are and what the price of microsats are. But soon enough, we'll have no idea what the price of Bitcoin is. And we're really not that far away. J-Dog's got a Peroni. Nice. Cheers. Wish I had a Peroni. Peroni's a solid beer. LaughPad, good morning. Okay, let me check on the Zap. Speaking of LaughPad. Oh, what's this? Hey, there's Letha. There's Letha in the Zap stream, but not there. Sent to Zap. 8,888 sats from Letha. Legendary Zap. First of the day, biggest of the day so far. And Letha says, I'll be listening and driving today. Have a great day, Jor. Orange heart. Well, thank you, Letha. Thank you for thinking of the show. One of our regular, as we call her over on the Jerry Loves Freedom stream, the nicest lady in Bitcoin, Letha. Also known as Letha the Icon. So that's very nice of you, Letha. Hope you have a safe travels today. And the roads are clear and the skies are clear for you. Ian's got an iced amaretto. Wow. Amaretto latte, non-alcoholic, obviously. That sounds freaking good. That sounds good. $1.52's in the chat. Good morning. Jay says, forgive us Brits. It's mid-afternoon and sunny, so we have to make the most of it. That's true. You have to. Couldn't agree more with that. Rick, smash the like yet? Good question. Let's get a record in here today. Let's just keep smashing records. Fuck it. Why wouldn't we? Let's get share this on your favorite social media stream. Send it to your friend who's been asking you about Bitcoin. Say, hey, check out the daily Bitcoin journey. This guy doesn't know much, but he talks a lot about Bitcoin. And he'll make you feel at home. That's the one good thing about it. That's what we try to do around here. We try to get to every comment, big or small. And it's a good place. It's a good place to learn, I think. Bird Meta, good morning. Tommy Baker. Morning, Tommy. Great name. Just like my name, Tommy. You guys know that? Probably not. Maybe. Some do. Nick, good morning. Cheers to you, my friend. Nick sent a fat zap last night during the replay. So if you're watching this tonight during the replay, shout out to you. Shout out to Nick. 4,200 sats last night during the replay. Thank you, Nick. I'm pretty sure that was you. Josh, morning, Jor and Arn. Arn and Jor. Got to run. Can't stay this morning. Liberals at work being tyrannical, eh? Oh, it's okay. The show will go on. Josh, thank you for the comments. Thank you for stopping by. And thank you for the zap. Josh also sent 888 sat zap over in the zap stream. And Killer with the Killer zap, 760 sats, a mini killer, we'll call it. Baby Killer is a 76 sat zap. Mini Killer is 760, and then the Killer zap is 7676. Rock, good morning, my friend, from Kentucky. And Johnny Midas, look at that. Sun's up. Morning, Jor. Good morning. Terry, cheers, my friend. What a crew today. Zapstream's filling up. Zapstream, if you're over there, say hi and let us know which Noster platform you're watching from today. Jake, sound is good. Okay. Was the sound ever in doubt? I don't know. Bill Dials from Wine Country, California. Wine Country, California. Morning, Bill. Frank, good morning, Jor. Family stats. Sats are still affordable. Keep stacking. We are right about Bitcoin. What the hell is that thing? Fuck, heads are going to roll around here right away. Bada. You ever been to the U.S. side, Jor? I'm over in Detroit, Michigan. Been over to the other side a few times. Yeah, I've been in the U.S. a lot. Lots of my travels have been in the U.S. Where have I been? I've been to California, actually. I have. I drove through it, not like California, but Arizona. I drove to Vegas, and I drove to Arizona. So I guess it was the same kind of path. So I've been through all those states: South Dakota, Montana, Utah, Colorado. I don't know, lots. I've been in a lot of places in the U.S. and plans to go back. I want to drive through the whole United States of America. That's my one of my goals in life, and I'll do it. Tommy D, good morning. Floofing. Jump in my truck, coming to pick it up. Well, it'll just be a couple days. If you're in Canada and I'm shipping one of these to you, it should only be a couple days. So you might have it by Friday. Might have it for Fat Zap Friday. Frank says, I love my We Are Right About Bitcoin hoodie. They are beautiful, honestly. And the nice thing about it is like the reason why I designed it this way is because you can kind of wear it out in public and you don't have to worry about like really flashy Bitcoin stuff if you're somebody who's a little bit conscious about that. This is just a very subtle. And if you see somebody, that's what I'm looking forward to. When two people wearing the We Are Right About Bitcoin gear run into each other, that's going to be a good day. That's when you know we made it, when that happens. What a treat to catch the show. Good morning, Jay. Duncan says, morning, everyone. I got my We Are Right About Bitcoin hoodie. It's awesome. There we go. We got some live testimonials here in the chat. Love to see that. Wish I could afford the sweater. Hopefully the next batch. Jay, I think you got one of the Maple Bitcoin hoodies, didn't you? It's all right. We got hoodies. There's going to be no shortage of hoodies around here. Jor, second day in a row I'm catching you. I'm locked in laser eyes. Nice, Eddie. Bada says, no one asked me about Bitcoin. People just usually roll their eyes when I start talking about it. Yeah. Don't waste your time. That's our... Oh, I wonder if I should talk about that today. I'll think about it. I might come back to this. We'll see if we got time. Plunger, morning team, watching on Amethyst. Nice. Morning, Plunger. Plunger also sent a fat zap of 888 sats. So unlike yesterday, we actually do have our Bitcoin wallets up today. So if you feel like supporting the show, you can scan the QR code right beside my big head. And those will flow to the show. Keep the channel going. We have no ads. We have no sponsors. We are 100% community funded. And we will always be that way. As long as the zap's rolling in. If they stop, then I'm going to have to start bringing on Ledger ads. Ledger, Unchained, Bitcoin Way. I'm in a good mood today. Bunny, good morning. Good to see you. First rule of Bitcoin Fight Club, never tell anybody how much Bitcoin you have. Yes, it was Nick. Thank you, Nick. Parker, morning, brother. Parker, I haven't seen you on my YouTube feed for a while. Have you been slacking? I'm going to do a little self-audit here on Parker. I don't think that he has, but maybe they're just not showing up on my... How do I find you on there now? No. Wow, it popped up right away. No, he hasn't been slacking. He has not. I knew he wouldn't be. Parker's... Oh, video. What the heck? It says one was 11 hours ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Yeah. Parker's killing it, man. Parker is killing it. Let me share Parker's channel today, because the dude's been putting in work, and I absolutely respect that. Speaking of putting in work, one of our favorite guys, Jerry, from Jerry Loves Freedom, hit the 2,000 subscriber mark last night. 2,000 subscribers live on the channel, live on the stream. Pretty cool moment for him and for the community. That he's been doing some really good things over there. So shout out to Jerry. I'll share his page here right away. But this is Parker. Parker's been sharing a video almost every day or every day. They're very short. They're very to the point. And I like them. I like his videos a lot, actually. And so go over there, check out Parker's channel, give him a subscribe, and let's keep growing here. Parker, the only thing I'd say, and I'm not going to give you any advice because you're doing one heck of a job over there, but you got to talk more about Bitcoin. You got to just slowly introduce it. I like the topics. I love everything you're doing. You just got to slide Bitcoin in there once in a while. Don't overdo it, because you obviously built a little base here of people who, are into other things. But I think you could just introduce it, and you're going to get a whole lot of people checking out Bitcoin. Maybe that's your plan. I don't know. Chasing Buckets, morning from Philly. Good morning, Chasing Buckets. Good name, man, or woman. But that's it. Eddie says, gonna zap you on Nostr. I keep all my spare change in that wallet. No problem. Let me know when you do, so I can give you a little shout out. You can actually go over to the Zap stream and zap from Nostr there. That's where we got people watching this morning. Josh also using Amethyst. So Eddie, let us know what Nostr client you use usually. Mahan, morning. Boomer here from Virginia, headed to Halifax next month for vacay. Looking forward to it. Oh my God, Halifax. That's one of the most underrated places on the planet, in my opinion. I shouldn't say yeah, I would say it is. It's not like a very inexpensive or cheap way to travel, but Halifax is beautiful. Beautiful. Golf there is second to none. Oceans there. They got such good people in Halifax. I love Nova Scotia and PEI. If they had a little bit more going on there, I think that I could move there. And their winters are pretty brutal too. Hey Jay, good morning. Let's fucking grow. Love that. Okay, I got to catch up on a couple zaps here. Let's put it on pause for 1 sec. Okay, so we got Letha's, we got Josh's, we got Killer's. What's this one? Mark. Oh, we got a DCA from Mark. 2,891 sats. And a nice little note here. It says, morning, Jor. Please send some community love to my wife, Stacy, who is currently in surgery, watching and waiting from the hospital cafeteria. Okay, so let's all, you can either think, you can either say out loud, but please send some good vibes, some recovery, some healing to Mark's wife, Stacy, in surgery right now. So that would be great. And I'm sure if all 88 people in here did it at the same time, she might actually feel that. So that's what I would say. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Nick says, one of these days I'll get my Noster wallet to work on Primal. Yeah, I mean, I think I said overrated or underrated, but I think Primal, hate to say this, but I think Primal is extremely overrated. I don't like Primal. I don't like Primal. Cool, more than me as an American. Wow. Best wishes, bro. Thank you, Bada. Orange pilled my dad this weekend. Bitcoin is catching on fast. Hey, isn't that the truth? It really feels like we're approaching that moment here. It feels like it's really close. It feels like there's just a lot of people paying attention to Bitcoin right now. People who don't necessarily know that they need Bitcoin yet are starting to at least look into Bitcoin. And that's a start. And I'm sure they'll get a little bit of Bitcoin, and I'm sure they'll get a little bit of Doge and a little bit of Solana and a little bit of XRP. And eventually all that will flow into Bitcoin when they figure out that Bitcoin is the only one that matters, the only one that actually has value. So it's good. Good to see. I'm feeling the exact same right now. I've had several people in the last week reach out and say, ask me a question or looking for help with something. And they said, I saw this video or I saw your live stream and I enjoyed it. And so they had some questions about security and stuff. So it's good. I didn't think people kind of in my area here were watching my show. So cheers. If you're watching the show and you're not in the chat, and I know you in real life, cheers. Thanks for being here. Del Coker. Morning from Texas. Been watching the channel for a year. Best way to start the day. Wow. Love that. Love that. Love that. Okay, we got some more zaps rolling in here. Hold on, folks. Hold the phones. Hold the phones. We got locked in laser eyes. I'm thinking, who was that? Somebody just said that. Eddie. There you go. Eddie, locked in laser eyes, sent 888 sats. Legendary zap. No, not a legendary zap. Fat zap. And somebody else sent 888 too. And we got a DCA from LaughPad, I believe, 28.95. So let's do that right now. 28.95. We got one from Mark and one from LaughPad today. All right, I saw a comment I wanted to get to. Where to buy the We Are Right About Bitcoin hoodie. Couple questions in here. Okay, so Mert, Brennan, you're going to be able to buy these hoodies. They're going to be a little bit less because they won't be the limited edition ones. The limited edition ones have, keep going the wrong way. That's the limited edition ones. They have embroidery on the back out of 88. So there's 88 of those available. I have 5 of them on hand. So if you're a large or if you're an extra large, I can get you one of these ones and I can ship it off today. But if you're a different size, you're going to have to wait, or you can place an order with me for one of the limited ones, or you can wait for them to be on the Proof of Ink website. They will be a little bit cheaper on there, but they won't have the limited edition. So if you're a weirdo like me, then the limited is a way to go, but that's how you can get one of these beautiful hoodies. We are right about Bitcoin. Very subtle. Very nice. This is honestly like the fit, the design, everything. I'm going to wear the shit out of this hoodie. I'm probably going to have to order a couple. So, Mikhail, look at this. Sup, you sat stacking salutes. Hi, Arnie. Where is Arnie today? Arnie boy. Arnie. He might show up. He might show up. Much love. Much love to you, Parker. You're doing great work, buddy. Center DCA. Okay, let's do that right now. Whoa, 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 sweet child of mine's all right. You know what I was doing yesterday? I was listening to, I was working out and I was listening to Good Charlotte. You guys remember Good Charlotte? They were ahead of their time. One of their songs is called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And it's a great song. And it's talking about politicians and how corrupt they are. That was probably from 20 years ago now. I used to be a big Good Charlotte fan. But I thought I'd mention that. I was going to play it, but I don't really feel like getting kicked off of YouTube. Maybe we'll play it at the end. We'll see. Okay, so we got the DCA here, which is the equivalent of a $3 coffee in Bitcoin. So we've had some very, very supportive, we'll call them angels. Some very, very supportive angels who have been sending in our DCA here. And this is how we've been tracking the price of Bitcoin. So we're going to use Marks today, 28.91. It's a little bit lower. And so 28.91, that's the equivalent of $3 a coffee in sats. And so you can see that over the last month, we went from 3,800 to 2,800. So these, as kind of a portion of my salary here, is going down. As the price of Bitcoin goes up, I get paid less in real currency. So 28.91 today, that's almost the lowest, which means that the price of Bitcoin is probably ripping. That's what that would suggest to me. I was going to wear my orange hoodie today too. I felt like there was something coming on today, but I chose the We Are Right About Bitcoin hoodie instead. Yeah, 103. So we're pretty close. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, LapPad, for the coffees. And this is where you can do it. I'll put this link in the show notes here if you feel like sending a coffee for the show. You don't need an Oster. You just need a Lightning wallet on your phone. So this is what it is. It's $3. And then we get the equivalent over here in sats, and we track that. That's kind of our price metric for the show. So shout out to LaughPad. Shout out to Mark for the coffees today. I appreciate that a lot. Angels, that's what I called them. And that's what it is. You know, I was thinking about that last night. And, you know, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole here, too emotional or anything like that. But like, I don't think that I say it enough. I don't think that I say, you know, thank you enough. Because here's I don't know. It's I go through the shows, you know, and I say thank you for the zaps. But like, it's crazy to me. Again, this show here that we've been doing for, I don't know, a year and a half now. Haven't had any sponsors. Had a sponsor for a couple months. And it was more so I wanted to help them. They were, you know, looking to get their word out there a little bit. I still plan on working with them, just in a little bit different context. But it's been the people, and it's been people, you know exactly who you are. I don't want to start naming names here, but there's people who show up every day and they send in some sats, and they support through the living in the future. And, you know, it's very meaningful to me, because it's not only helps, you know, keep the lights on here, but it helps me grow, and it helps the positive feedback loop. Like I sold some of my Bitcoin last night to pay for some equipment here, some new production equipment for the show. And the only reason I could do that is because of the zaps. And, you know, I don't mind spending Bitcoin on things that are going to help my life improve. And so it's really like, you know, a crowdfunder, is that what they're called? Crowdfunder with Bitcoin. And it's cool. It's very meaningful to me, and it's helping this show grow. It's helping reach more people out there who might not have ever understood Bitcoin and kind of heard about it and then switch gears. But you know, we're making a difference here, and it's only because of the people who are supporting this show. So you know exactly who you are, and I will never ever forget you for all the support here on the show. It means more than you'll ever know. And I'm sorry if I don't portray that enough during the shows here, but it's pretty cool to me. It's really cool. The easier path would have been taking on some sponsors. I'm sure if you guys saw my email inbox, you know, it's tough. It's a hard decision. It's the harder path, but I wouldn't change a thing. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Slide in the tip, just for a little bit. See if the chat likes it. Another 5K Bitcoin last night. Let's go. Wow. Doom Kid. That's substantial. That's substantial. All right. Paulo, good morning, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Brandon says, 20 years old. Do you have advice to keep the right mindset about Bitcoin when everyone around you thinks you're wasting your time? You know, the advice that I would have is just put your head down. Just go like this. Because one of the themes I've been hearing from people I very much respect is that if you are in the majority, if you are doing the same thing as everybody else, you're doing the wrong thing. And there's a lot of people who are going to find that out the hard way in the coming years. And there's a lot of people who are hoping that Bitcoin goes away. And there's a lot of people who are thinking that AI is going to just go away too. And they think that their job that they have today is going to be the same for the next couple of decades. And it's not. And it's going to be sad to watch and sad to live through. But, you know, to get ahead in life, to do anything worth doing, you have to have a little bit of courage, a little bit of balls, and you just have to plug your ears. Because the more time you spend in Bitcoin, the more you realize how good this is, how different life is in Bitcoin compared to fiat, how holding your time and energy in Bitcoin not only maintains your purchasing power, but it increases it significantly, especially compared to fiat. So there's days for me where it's like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to do a show today. I don't know, I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about. And then I'm just like, you know what? It's just another day. We're going to do a show today. We're going to do a show tomorrow. We're going to do a show the next day. And over time, that's going to compound into something really special. And it has so far. And I have no reason to think that it won't continue doing that. So it's the same kind of thing. Just keep your head down, keep your ears plugged, take it one day at a time, and just know that all the work you're putting in now, all these sats that you're compounding now are going to pay massive dividends to you in the future. And there's a lot of people who don't get that. There's a lot of small-minded people out there who don't really see the value of buying something today, delaying your gratification, essentially. Buying something today that you can buy 10 of, or instead of buying something today, buying Bitcoin instead. And so you can buy 10 of those things in the future, or 10 different things, or pass that on to your kids. Right there, there's a lot of 60, 70, 80-year-olds out there right now who are wondering if they'll ever get to retire. They're wondering what they're going to be able to pass on to their kids one day. And they're stressed out about it. I know that because I'm not an idiot. Like, when you spend 40 years working and all of a sudden the government prints 50% of the total supply in 4 years, your savings aren't worth that much. And so not only are you stressed out about being able to live, you're stressed out about when you can retire and stressed out about what you're going to be able to pass on to your family. And Bitcoin is the answer to that. It really is. And you don't need a whole lot. If you want to leave something meaningful for your kids and for your family, just buy some Bitcoin and learn how to protect that. That's the best gift that you could ever give them. So whether you're 20, 40, 60, 80, Bitcoin has a place in your portfolio today. And if you're 20, man, you're 20 and you're stacking Bitcoin right now, that's you're not going to have to worry about things ever financially. And that's the biggest stress that people have, is the fiat system puts so much stress, makes them work harder for less. And in Bitcoin, it's basically the exact opposite of that. Bluntman Blockchain. Good morning. We need to change that name to Bluntman Bitcoin. That's going to be my request. Bluntman Bitcoin. Blockchain is buzzword. Ginger, good morning. I'm late. Yeah, Ginger's usually our first comment of the day. He's half an hour late today. It's okay. Shit happens. Been to Halifax, gorgeous there. So much to do. It really is. Eddie says, I'm on Primal. Sent a fatty there your way. Yes, we received. Thank you, my friend. And we got a couple more. Wow. Oh, no. Hold on. What's going on here? Yeah, we did. We got a row of ducks. 2222, 2,222 sats From Ian, happy stacking Tuesday. Ian E. Thank you. Ian, row of ducks. Love that. And we got 4,200 sats. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that was Nick again. That's the same number as last night. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Morlock. DGen coin pumping like crazy, going bonkers right now. All right, how do I get rid of this fool? Ban user, delete their comments. Hey, thanks everybody. Terry, Sarp, Jay, Tom, Laughpad, Cleaner Machine. There you go. Some good love, some good energy. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Dalton, good morning, Jor. I hate when I tell people about Bitcoin, they say, oh yeah, Doge is good and I own some Pepe. I tell them all crypto is a scam, but Bitcoin is different. Yeah, most people, that's where most people still are, right? I was talking to somebody who even owns Bitcoin last week. And I forget what we were talking about, but it was somebody who came out with a coin. It might have been Trump, might have been somebody else. But they were like, yeah, didn't they release like a Bitcoin? People still tie it all together. And I don't know how far away we are from that. You know, I'm doing my best here, showing up every morning to try and, you know, spread some awareness around that issue. But yeah, that's just the reality. But the thing is they've heard about it. That's the thing that Bitcoin has going for it that you can't really say a lot of things do, which is awareness. I'm sure if you asked 100% of the people living on this earth right now, even the people who live in the jungle, they probably heard of Bitcoin. And it's very misunderstood. Even within Bitcoin, it's misunderstood. People think that Bitcoin is just like a thing. It's not. Bitcoin is actually a currency, and Bitcoin is a network. And there's actually no such thing as a Bitcoin. There's sats. There's 100 million sats that make up one Bitcoin. But on the blockchain, all there is Satoshis. And when people realize how valuable those Satoshis are and how cheap they are compared to the dollar, that's when the green light comes on. And the more green lights that come on, the more demand there is for Bitcoin. And the more people who are fighting over that scarce bottom line of sats, which inherently drives the value of those sats up. That's Bitcoin in a nutshell. That's Bitcoin in a nutshell. Hey, we got 88 people in here. Don't forget to like, don't forget to love, and don't forget to zap. Man, if you're feeling crazy, share the show, share this live stream with your friends, your family, your socials. Let's get more people in here. I think our all-time high on this show is like 120 viewers. We can do better than that. And I know we will once Bitcoin starts pumping and there's more people interested. But I think we can do a little bit more there. Jake, lifestyles, yep, of the rich and the famous. Good Charlotte, 2002. So more than 20 years ago. Wow. That's depressing. Founded Beyond says crypto is an evil scam. Bitcoin changed the world for the better. Crypto can become good, but for now is a really terrible distraction. I agree with that actually fully. That's a very good way to say it. All around. All around. All right, let me see what we got going on here. We got a couple zaps, I think, to the yeah, we do. Looks like a Joey zap, and it looks like a Cleaner Machine zap. 777 sats and 2,500 sats. That's to our if you don't have access to your QR code, if you're watching this on your phone, you can just type this into your speed wallet or your Lightning wallet, and you can send some sats if you want to. Totally voluntary around here. Totally voluntary around here. Lapad says, you're very meaningful to us. We don't just show up because we have nothing better to do. You're adding value to our lives, and we want to pay that value back in money. Thank you, Lapad. Thank you, Lapad. And James Bond is here. Look at that. A rare appearance from our guy, James Bond, in the chat this morning. We'll be in sats living in the future. All right. Yes. One of these belongs to you, Bond. I got one here sitting for you. Jay says, I try to tell my 19-year-old brother I'm stuck stacking for the little bastard. He won't listen. Too bad he's after my mom. Yeah, that's okay. That's what we got to do. I mean, as a Bitcoiner, you got to take on a lot of responsibility. You got to take on a lot of shit. And one of those things is actually buying Bitcoin for your family members. It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, Bluntman sent in 4,200. Bluntman Bitcoin. Thank you, my friend. I didn't mean to chirp you about your name. I just think that Bitcoin's a better version of blockchain for the algorithm, for everything. Bitcoin's what we need. Matrix, morning from White Rock. Stack on. Morning, Matrix. Zach says, talk to friends about Bitcoin for hours. They buy XRP. What am I doing wrong? I mean, one good thing that you could do, honestly, and I don't know if this will work or not, but don't even talk about Bitcoin. Talk about sats. If you can get them to understand that there is no such thing as Bitcoin, that it's all sats and there's only so many sats available, and you can buy $10 worth for 10,000 sats right now, you can get more XRP, or you can get more sats that you can get XRP, because that's why people buy XRP, right? They don't know what it is. They don't know why people hold it. They don't know anything about XRP. They just know that they can get more of them than they can get in Bitcoin. It's pretty depressing when you take, $100 or $200 or $500 worth of your money and you buy something and it says, congratulations, you've gotten 0.0005 Bitcoin. Like, that sucks. Nobody's going to do that. It's so stupid. That's what I don't like about Bitcoin. But you say, hey, you can get 50,000 sats for $50. There you go. That's how you do it. And just tell them, like, the way things are going, one day these sats are going to be equal to $1. It might be 10 years, it might be 20 years, but one day, one of these sats is going to be equal to $1. That's what you're going to be able to buy with that. So today you can buy 5,000 sats for $5. Basically, what you're doing is you're buying time in the future. You're buying leverage into the future with sats. So if they're looking for XRP, they probably have a unit bias. They don't understand decentralization, centralization. Don't waste your time with that. Just tell them, these are sats. These are something that nobody can print more of. They can print more XRP if they wanted to. And people will say, well, no, they can't, because there's a limit. There's a maximum supply of blank. No, there's not. There's not, because XRP is fully centralized. And if the people who own XRP, the ones who have influence over the XRP network or whatever the hell it is, they decide they want to increase their supply, they can, because they have the influence. Nobody has that in Bitcoin. Nobody has that ability to do that in Bitcoin. Matrix says, thank you for showing up even when you don't feel like it some days. I mean, that's the only way that you make progress. It's easy to do things when you feel like it, whether that's showing up for a Bitcoin live stream, whether that's working out, whether that's meditating in the morning, cold shower. Those are the moments. And a lot of people don't really realize that. And this is a huge realization that I've had in my life in the last couple of years, is that whenever there is something in the back of your mind telling you enough or don't do that, there's always going to be something in the back of your mind saying that, we can do it tomorrow. We can work out tomorrow. We can miss the show. Nobody's going to care. We'll be back tomorrow. But it's in that exact moment where you say, nope, shut the fuck up, me. I'm doing it. And the more times you do that, that's a habit that you're building there. You're telling yourself that, no, I'm in control here. I'm in control. I'm doing this. And every time you do that, you're taking steps in the right direction. It might seem like a very small thing, but it makes a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. Hey, Dalton, setting up Bitcoin well today so I can dump Coinbase. I've been a Coinbase customer for 10 plus years. Wow. That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy. And for anybody out there who is looking to use a new exchange, I would try Bitcoin Wallet. That's the one that I use exclusively for buying Bitcoin. You can get it right there, bitcoinwell.com/Jor. And if you use that link, you get about 2,500 sats for free, just for joining. So on that note, let's give away a bit of Bitcoin today, courtesy of our friends at Bitcoin Well. So the first person to scan this QR code on the screen, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to prepare. But the first person who scans this code on the screen is going to be a little bit richer. You're going to get some sats, some free sats. Okay, well, we got a couple more zaps too here. Let me get to those in a second. Okay, here we go. So again, bitcoinwell.com/Jor. I just encourage you to go try it out. You don't have to commit to like using them full time going forward, but I'd take $200, $100, whatever you need. Head over to Bitcoin Well. Just try out their platform. They have the best features in Bitcoin, truly. Recurring buys, Lightning withdrawals, free swaps from on-chain to Lightning, and you can actually pay your bills too. So if you're wanting to slowly make steps out of the fiat system that we live in, this is a perfect way to do it using Bitcoin Well. So get your Lightning wallets out. First person to scan this QR code right now is going to win some sats. Might be 400, might be 500, might be more. Ready? Hope you are. Wow, big one today. 671 sats. The year 2035, we're going to be looking back at these live streams and being like, what? They're giving away 671 sats for scanning a QR code? Are you kidding? So there you have it, folks. I'm assuming this has been claimed, but just in case, I'm going to snag it if not. Claimed. Congrats, whoever won that this morning. Those are courtesy of the Bitcoin Well. Again, they do not pay me. They do not sponsor the show. I'm just a very happy customer, and I'm happy that they give something back to the community here. So there you go. That's Bitcoin Well. Go get yourself an account there. Try them out, and let me know what your experience is like too. Show up in the chat one day and say, "Hey, Jor, you're full of shit. Bitcoin Well sucks," or "Thank you for guiding me to Bitcoin Well. They're what I use to buy Bitcoin now." Either or. I'm happy to hear both. Okay. I did want to get to one thing today. I had one piece of Bitcoin news in the agenda today. Other than that, we were just winging it. And we're 48 minutes into it somehow today. I don't really understand that. I don't know how time goes by so fast. It feels like time's in supersonic mode right now. Hey, we had 108 people in here for a sec. That's almost our all-time high. So perfect time for me to be doing nothing right now on my show as everybody shows up. So just give me one quick second here, because this is it's important. This is a very important subject. I think that more people should be talking about. So when you think that more people should be talking about something, you should talk about it yourself. Take your own medicine here. Okay, as that loads. Oh, I missed that one. Hey, Stample says, "Hey man, I'm the Uber for Sats guy going strong. 1.5 weeks in, and almost every single day I've passed my goal of $33.33 per day. I've made about 450 in the last week. I highly recommend Uber for Sats." You know what you should be doing, Stample? You should run, you should either have a YouTube channel, a blog, a Nostr account, or all three. And you should be talking about exactly what you're doing right now. Because again, even if a whole lot of people don't see it today or tomorrow, we're going to be able to look back in a couple decades from now. And those stories like that are going to age like fine wine. They really are. So that's what I would say. Great work. But, you know, if you want to put in a little bit more, that's what you could do. Paulo, I was wondering where this zap came from. Paulo says, when Bitcoin hits 1 million, what will you be doing differently? Honestly, probably nothing. Because to me, Bitcoin's worth $1 million today. And so why would I sell something at its current value? Also, why would you sell it, period? Right? I'm never going to just cash out my Bitcoin. I'm never going to say, okay, Bitcoin hit $100 million. I'm going to trade my 20 million sats for whatever that would be, 20 million bucks, and just put that in the bank, get some interest, go back to my old life. No. One thing I might do is I might add a couple more cameras around here just in case. Because if it's 100 million, although that's why Superback comes into play, right? Like I would be a little bit worried about my, hold on, this is a good discussion. These are the things you need to be thinking through yourself, truly. And I'm sure most people haven't thought about this yet. But when Bitcoin hits 1 million, and it's going to, and when Bitcoin hits 10 million, and it's going to, and when Bitcoin hits 100 million, and it's going to, might be in our lifetime, it might not be. But you have to start preparing for that today, mentally and physically. And what that looks like mentally is you have to prepare yourself for when that time comes. A lot of us aren't used to being wealthy. We don't come from a whole lot of money. And so rich people do things differently than the average person. They have different things in place. And so you should start thinking about that. Like how can you prepare for that? What are you going to be doing at that point? Where are you going to be living? Are you going to be the guy in town that's known as the Bitcoiner, and you're going to have to build a huge wall around your house to protect yourself? Are you going to move somewhere else where nobody knows who you are and nobody knows how much Bitcoin you have? These are the things that you have to be thinking about now. Before it actually happens, you have to start preparing for this stuff now. But in the meantime, that's why I love Superback so much, is because Superback is something then you can implement into your Bitcoin security setup, and you can maintain full ownership of your Bitcoin, full ownership. You don't have to trust a single person or a single entity with your Bitcoin. You can do the whole thing fully non-KYC. You don't have to put in your name, your phone number, your Bitcoin balance, your credit card, nothing. And the best part is that you don't have to have any trace of Bitcoin around your house. You don't need to keep your private keys. You don't need to keep your cold cards. You don't have to have a single Bitcoin trace around your house. And that's Superback. Plus, aside from that, if something were to unexpectedly happen to you, your family's going to be good because it comes with a very detailed and organized and structured inheritance plan. You can leave that with somebody you trust. It won't have any sort of impact on them knowing how much Bitcoin you have or where it is or anything like that. Zero risk in that sense. And then if something happens to you, your Bitcoin's going to be safe because they can follow that inheritance. They can reach out to us and we can help them restore that Bitcoin. So if you're in the market, and we've had quite a few inquiries lately. So usually when there's lots of demand for something, that means it's too cheap. So we're going to be bumping up the prices here probably of our super-backed security inheritance protocol soon. But in the meantime, if you want direct access to the guys, I should say, you can email jor@bitcoincitadel.net. You're going to sleep better. You're going to sleep way better knowing that if your house burned down, if somebody broke in, regardless of what happened, your Bitcoin's going to be safe. You cannot buy that sense of security. You can't. Even though there's a price on it, because you have to have a price of things, you cannot buy the peace of mind that provides somebody, especially if you value Bitcoin. Not its value today, but what it's going to be worth in the future. And these are the times, these are the days that you have to start putting things in place for when that comes, because it is coming. So shoot us an email, put Superbacked in the email, in the subject line, and we'll get back to you. We'll set up a call and see if it makes sense for you. It doesn't make sense for everybody. I'll tell you that. It doesn't make sense for everybody to do. It's a little bit more work. That's the thing there. It's a little bit more work, but it is the best way to protect your Bitcoin that I've found by far. In this case, there is no second best way to protect your Bitcoin. And if there is, I'd like to hear about it. One of our, Dalton says, drop a like, people. That's true. True. See how we're doing on the like department. We almost had a record amount of people in here, 108. I forget what the record is. It might have been like 130, actually. That was back when, oh, somebody emailed about a hoodie. Nice. That was back when Bitcoin was buzzing. That was right after the U.S. administration changed. Where are we here? 88 Sats Radio. 95 people in here watching right now. 65 likes. Not bad. Not bad. Founded Beyond says, the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin was in 2020. I wish I had bought so much more then. Forgot about it till 60K, stacking as hard as I can. Yeah, that reminds me of one of Buffett's famous quotes, which is, sorry, I don't have it memorized. Right here. I'm gonna refer to these quotes more often because I love them. These are all from Warren Buffett, the world's greatest investor. And this was his quote. Said, the rearview mirror is always clearer than the windshield. So everything's more obvious when you're looking back. Just like within Bitcoin. When, you wish you could have bought more when you first heard about it, you would have got way more Bitcoin than you have now. When Bitcoin gets to 1 million, everybody's going to say, well, yeah, it was pretty obvious. The US government was buying it. States were buying it. BlackRock was telling people to buy it. Public companies were exponentially growing. Businesses were accepting it. Of course, it was going to get to 1 million. But now people are like, well, should I wait? Should I wait until Bitcoin drops back to 90 before I buy it? Think about that quote every time. Every time. Dinkles. Mr. Dinkles, one of my closest friends, continue to remind me of the SEC lawsuit dropped against Ripple. He's so caught in fiat life traps I cannot begin to explain. There's a lot of people like that out there. We can't save everybody, We're trying. Week and a half, making about $300 per week, only doing a couple hours per day. Love that. Ian says, for months, I've been trying to get my oldest daughter and her boyfriend to buy Bitcoin. And this weekend, they pulled the trigger. Also told Patty to tune in and learn for you and the community. Nice, Ian. They finally pulled the trigger. See, things are happening right now in Bitcoin. I can feel it. I can sense it myself. There's a lot of people paying attention to Bitcoin right now. A lot. And they should be. Lapad says, I met my first Bitcoiners in real life yesterday. Turns out the town I work in has a Bitcoin mining company that regularly brings in clients to show off their facilities. I actually found this mining company on a Preston Pish podcast a couple weeks ago. Yesterday, a couple of regulars were at the bar, and one of them had the company's hat on. Wow. I ran into the same mining company 2 times in the last week, online and in real life. Both completely unrelated. They're coming to Vegas, so I'll try to introduce them to living in the future. Wow. Hate the YouTube. That's okay. That's okay. That's super interesting, Lapad. Super, super interesting. Kind of crazy too, honestly. M. Vincent says, I've never paid for anything with my phone. Will there be, or is there a Bitcoin credit card type payment option? Yeah, I mean, I pay for literally everything with my ShakePay Visa card. And I'm a guy, actually, it's funny that this is the conversation right now. I was going to say, I'm a guy who forgets his wallet a lot of times at home or in the car or somewhere. And so I always have my phone on me, right? So I just pay from everything with my phone. Groceries, gas, King Golf purchases, everything goes on my ShakePay Visa card. Because one, I get 1% back in sats, which is pretty nice. You would not believe how many sats I've accrued from doing that. I think for the first 5,000 on ShakePay, you get 2% back in Bitcoin. And Fold's even higher than that, I think. But Fold's only in the US, ShakePay's in Canada. But the other thing too is I have a thing called Roundup on my ShakePay Visa card, which means that if I set it to $5 Roundup, every time I use ShakePay Visa, I buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. So it's really nice, and it's all prepaid, which means you're never going to get into like credit card debt issues, because every time you want to pay for something with your ShakePay, you have to prepay it. So you just send them an e-transfer in Canada, and then you can fund your, that's basically how it works, is you send ShakePay money, you send them an e-transfer, and then you have cash in your account. And with that cash, you can either use your ShakePay Visa, or you can buy Bitcoin with that. One of two things, or Ethereum, but that's not even an option. So with the ShakePay Visa, yes, that's how I pay for everything. That's how I've earned a lot of sats through the years. And the other cool thing about ShakePay is you can actually shake your phone every day for sats. Oh, that's not what I want. So if you're in Canada, even if you don't buy your Bitcoin with ShakePay, you should absolutely be using ShakePay every day. So I just put the link in there for everybody if you want to get an account. Like, this is insane. It's truly insane that this is still a thing. So let me just show you here. This ShakePay today, again, you just open up your phone every day and you shake your phone. And so I have a pretty big streak going. If you guys could see the total sat stack on this phone, your minds would be fucking blown. I'm not going to share that, but you're going to have to trust me. So the shaking sats, I got 324 sats for that last night. 324 sats just for going like this. So this is the kind of stuff you got to be doing. You know, if you really want to make a dent, that's the kind of stuff you got to be doing. So ShakePay Visa is very simple. You just need an account. You need to set up an account, and make sure you use that link because it unlocks a bunch of features that you wouldn't have otherwise. But it's very simple. You just go click the ShakePay Visa, you sign a policy agreement, and then you're good to go. You're earning free sats on every purchase, 1% back in sats. You can turn up your roundup feature and you can buy a Bitcoin every time you buy something. Unreal way to stack sats. Shake your phone, sats. It's nuts. Shouldn't even be legal. So again, I don't recommend people buying Bitcoin on ShakePay, but absolutely their features are unmatched. I think we read this already, Ian, didn't we? Yeah. Just changed a couple spelling mistakes there. Don't worry, I can read. I can read through spelling mistakes. Zach says, also good morning from the Alberta oil sands, working hard, stacking sats, and listening to some good signal. Cheers, Zach. One of our Bitcoin journeymen. Zoom out, yes. I'm thinking this was the 20-year-old comment there. Zoom out, yes. Mikkel says, early December 2022, when Bitcoin was at 16K, my parents bought a 300,000 house cash. I cried begging them to buy Bitcoin. They could retire with multiple properties by 2032. Whew. They still think the 50. Yeah, that's what bothers me. It's like people can't do fucking math. They still think the 15% increase on the house is more than the Bitcoin would have been. Nuts. Brendan says, I looked at my total ShakePay rewards, shaking, roundup, shake squad, and shake paid. I'm shook. Yeah, if you guys could see the amount of sats that I've got from ShakePay just by doing such mundane things, like it's really nothing. So you set an alarm every day, you shake, you do ZBD, answer a poll on ZBD. By the way, if you're not on ZBD yet, also, speaking of free sats, this is a must. And ZBD is in Canada, in the US. You should be able to click that link, sign up for a ZBD account, and you literally just go like this. Sorry, on this subject, I think that this subject is so important at this stage of the game. But you open up ZBD, you go to earn, and you go to the daily poll. So I already answered it. I got 40 sats for answering this question. You don't even have to get the right answer. It says, what is the name of the brightest star in the sky? And so I got 40 sats for doing that. The day before, I got 100 sats for answering a poll. And then you can watch a video. I usually do this 2 or 3 times a day. Just put on a video while you're doing something else, and you get paid in sats for just watching the ad. So there you go. And if you're watching this later, I'll put links to both ShakePay and ZBD in the chat there, so you can start getting more and more sats. And remember, every sat that you earn on ShakePay, on ZBD, on any of these things, you accrue that in a Lightning wallet, you swap it onto the Bitcoin network, onto on-chain. You got a very small, scarce piece of the pie here that nobody can take from you. That's one less sat that BlackRock's going to have, or 40 sats, or 300 sats from shaking your phone. That's 100 sats that the US government will never have. This is a big deal. Big deal. You should absolutely be taking advantage of this. Smile is also good for free sats. Yes, that's a good call. I have a Smiles account myself. I don't really use that one as much, but I'll put ShakePay, ZBD, and Smiles link in the chat. Usually you get something for, there you go. I just got 2 sats from ZBD for watching that. Thank you, ZBD. I'll put all those in the pinned comment today in case you're watching this later. Bond says, so agree with you. Went boxing yesterday. Damn, too old and didn't feel for it, but damn, it felt good. Yeah, you're basically telling your mind, you know, I'm the one in charge here. You were not going to be lazy today, and every time you make that decision, you become one step further in the right direction. That's what I've noticed. Dinkle says, inflammation changes your body immediately. I did a few workouts this week in a fasted state, and I look shredded compared to 3 days ago. Nice. Love that. Laugh pad. Got the Bitcoin well sats 2 days in a row. Well, you deserve them, Laugh pad. You're a very generous donor to the show here, so I'm glad. Dalton says, do you have any pizza guy stories, Joe? I sent multiple Bitcoin on goods back in 2015. No, I really don't, honestly. The only thing that I wish I would have done differently is, instead of buying a little bit of Bitcoin and mostly crypto stuff, I wish I would have done the opposite of that. I wish I would have bought mostly Bitcoin and a fraction in crypto. That would be like the main thing that I would have done differently in my Bitcoin journey. Hey, look at this, BitBilly. Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning, BitBilly. Good to see you, man. Great to see you. I got to text you today. Look at me with my little list here. I'm killing it. What's this about? Cameras, guns. Oh, we're talking about the protecting yourself. Yes. Cameras, guns, big dog, friends, lawyers, guns, money. Protect yourself at all times. Move in the shadows. Morning, Matt. Good morning, Matt. Floofin says you can't save anyone. That's also true, actually. That's one thing I've learned the hard way, is that people kind of arrive at Bitcoin on their own terms when they want to. Bird Meta says you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. True. Steve Jobs, legend. Legendary dude. All right. I thought I saw a couple zaps come in here. Wow. Two of these. All right. So where do we begin here? Somebody sent in 8 sats. Thank you. All sats matter to me. So 8 sats zap. Thank you. We get a question here, actually, with a zap. I love that. From Ash. Live Free Zap, 1,111 sats. Says, love your show. The last 5 years have been crazy. Should I rebalance? Okay, sorry, we got two zaps here, same amount. Live free zap. This one has a little bit more. Love your show. The last 5 years have been crazy. I probably should rebalance, but why sell a winner for losers? Do you have advice? The only rebalancing that I would do, I wouldn't rebalance. That's the one thing I'd start with, is that whatever Bitcoin you have today, regardless if it's 10 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, 10 million sats, 1 million sats, regardless of what that is, and regardless of what percentage of your portfolio that is, never sell that. Never ever sell that for a different asset. Don't sell it for cash. Don't sell it for Microstrategy. Don't sell it for Tesla. Don't sell it for gold. Don't sell it for rental house. That Bitcoin stays there forever. Forever. Because you're never going to get it back, ever. But the one thing you could do, and this is one thing that I've been doing, is instead of buying 100% Bitcoin with my excess profits in life, I've been putting some more into Strike and Strife. So I would never put $1 into something that wasn't Bitcoin related. Or, if I'm spending my Bitcoin, I have health, food, and experiences. Those are the only thing that I shouldn't say health, self-improvement. So that could be, an example would be a gym that we set up in the basement. It's not much of a gym, but it's a gym. The stuff I bought yesterday for the show, that's self-improvement. Number 2 is food, and number 3 is experience, like a trip, going to Vegas in 2 weeks, have to spend some Bitcoin, but and it's an experience. So always remember that Bitcoin is, nobody wants Bitcoin. They want Bitcoin for the things that they can buy later with that Bitcoin. So, but the one thing I would say is I'm starting to allocate more into like Strife and Strike. I just see that as a really good way to fund my future without having to sell my sats. That would be my only advice. Don't ever sell it for anything else. But going forward, if you want to like allocate 50% to Bitcoin, 50% to strategy or Strife or Strike, that's what I would do there. That's the best advice. So thank you for the zaps there. Appreciate that. And we got a Duncan, 2,906 sats, DCA from Duncan. And congrats on the 10K subs. Thank you, Duncan. Appreciate that, my friend. And we got a zap here. It didn't show up over in the zap stream, but it says, who else is getting super psyched about Vegas? 888 sats. It's coming close. It's coming fast. I'm excited. I have no idea who I'm going to meet there. No idea who I'm going to see. I know a couple people here, but it's going to be fun. I'm golfing on the Monday. I'm actually golfing with, I think, a couple fairly well-known Bitcoiners on Monday. So I'm pumped, but I'm more pumped to see the people who have been supporting the show here for the last year. All right. Well, we're creeping up on time here. Do you know if something like ShakePay exists in the US? I would love to earn cash back in Satoshis. Yes. There's the Fold app, and I'll get you, I'll put a link for a Fold in the thing too. Tom also says, Fold I have a link on my X posts. So if you can find Tom, you can get the Fold link from there. But for anybody watching later, I'll put that in the pinned comment. Frank says, I love Superback for protecting my Bitcoin for my kids. Love that. That's what it's all about, Frank. Get a Shake Squad. Everyone in the squad gets 42 sats when any member of the squad uses the card. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, isn't it? All right, what else do we have here? Floofin says, I've thought long and hard about this Bitcoin thing, and the conclusion I've come to is that it is freedom. No other asset in all of history is freedom. Why? Always ask yourself why. So that's how you can always get to the core of things, the root, the first principles of things is why. I was having a conversation the other day with somebody, and they were talking about the government, and they were talking about what's happened and what's happening. And they said a bunch of things, and I was like, well, why? Like, why do you think that is? Why do you think that that happened. Who's actually to blame here? Is it the people we're told, or is it somebody else? And we came to the conclusion by looking at things from the first principle standpoint that whoever we've been pinning things on wasn't actually to blame. It was actually somebody else who we just kind of like say, but we don't really comprehend the fact that they're the ones to blame for this whole thing. So always ask yourself why in anything. But in this case, for me, it's freedom because it's the only asset that you can truly own. The only asset that you can truly own. You might say, Jordan, what the hell does that mean? I can own cash. I can own gold. The gold sitting beside my bedstand. I can own that. I can own land. I bought land. I own land. What are you talking about? It's the only asset you can own. Well, yes, you can own them, but you can't really own them. Because with cash and gold, you own them until somebody more powerful than you comes along and decides that they want that cash or they want that gold. Then what? Somebody with a bigger gun, somebody with a bigger army. That becomes valuable, people will take it from you. Can't do that with Bitcoin. No, they could kill me, but they can't get my Bitcoin. And that changes the whole incentives for violence. It's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal that a lot of people don't really comprehend yet. But that's why it's freedom to me, is because it's the only asset that you can truly own. And land, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, you can have a title to the land, but you're still paying property taxes on that. Why are you paying property tax on that if you own it? You don't pay property tax on Bitcoin. You send 1 million sats in a UTXO to a wallet, you protect the keys to that wallet, that 1 million sats will be there in 100 years from now. There's no property tax on that. There's no leaks in that. So yeah, I agree. It is freedom. It's a good way to say it. It's a good way to think about it. Oh, it's stiff here. Getting stiffy. Laughpad says, I forgot to mention the owner of my workplace was sitting at the bar next to Bitcoiners with his laptop. We were talking about why you should consider accepting Bitcoin for food and beer. Nice. Nice. Oh, look at this. Somebody sent in 1 sat. Thank you. Thank you. He was Googling stuff while we were talking about it. Lapad says he was super interested and didn't know how far I'd come. He was like, oh, so people pay in Litecoin? It was so nice having someone else to explain. That's really what these business owners need. And we're actually hopefully working on this. But hey, look at this. Dale says, I got a promo code going for Vegas conference. I can share with the audience if you allow it, Jor. Of course. Of course. Yeah. If anybody's still looking for a Vegas ticket, Dale's got a promo code for you. Yes, truth. Cold storage Bitcoin is the only asset in history that another human being cannot take from you. And if you have it in, I'm telling you, like when you think about this, when you think fully through this whole thing, it's like, yes, that's true. But also, if you're somebody who's holding Bitcoin right now and you're holding that on a cold card and that cold card is in your house and the 12 or 24 words is also somewhere in your house, then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of that theory, right? Because in that case, somebody could break into your house and they could take your cold card. They can't do much with your cold card, but they could take your 12 or 24 words and now they have your Bitcoin. So in theory, yes, it's the only asset that nobody else can take from you if you're storing it properly. And to me, the only way to do that properly is by encrypting your 24 words and having zero trace of Bitcoin at your house. That's the only way to really achieve that freedom in Bitcoin, that ownership of Bitcoin. So again, I'm telling you, eventually, if you're holding Bitcoin right now, you're going to have something like super backed or super backed. And so instead of waiting for everybody else to be also wanting it at the same time, instead of waiting and paying a lot more for it at that time, just reach out now. The rates are extremely reasonable for what you get for it. Again, even without the privacy, inheritance, security thing, having a guy like Craig on your team is worth the price of admission a fraction of what the value is. Truly. And I know there's people watching the show right now who would attest to that. So just shoot me an email, jor@bitcoincitadel.net, and just put super backed in the subject line. Halfpad says, I got a little spendy. Sent a whole sat to the dogs. Hey, a sat to sat. I appreciate that. Okay, so I want to make sure that I didn't miss any zaps over on the Speed wallet. No, we didn't. We're good. All right. James Bond, have to go, mate. You're always splendid. See you in Living the Future. All right, buddy. We'll talk soon. I got to get your info for this hoodie. Maverick, Jor, hello, my friend. Hello, chat bros. Good morning. What's Ricky Bobby laughing about? Shows up with an LOL? What? Jim says they will pump the price so high you will feel tempted to sell, and you sell. Yes. I'm going to talk about that actually right now. It's going to be the last thing that we talk about today. Dale says if you purchase a Jade or a Jade Plus from QuickBit, I will fix you a free ticket, general admission, compliments of Blockstream and QuickBit. Wow. Okay, Dale, we should have talked about this before the show, my friend. But anyways, you know what? We're just gonna show it. We're just gonna show it. I was gonna say we could have got a little link set up for everybody, but that's okay. Doesn't it's not why we're here. So let's go to QuickBit, Regina. Dale, does this also include the multi-sig setup? Because that would be cool if we could do that. Jade Plus. All right, so I'm going to share this link here. This is for Crypto Boutique, the Bitcoin QuickBit, the only Bitcoin brick and mortar in Canada, I believe. So you can go to that link there for Blockstream Jade Plus hardware wallet. And you're going to get a free ticket, general admission, compliments of Blockstream. Wow, if you got no plans in 2 weeks, I feel like that's a pretty worthwhile option for you there. So you spend $250 Canadian, which is like $5 American. You get yourself one of these beautiful Blockstreams, and you get a free ticket to Vegas. And they are in stock. So that's one way to do it. You can also go to the 88 sats bundle here, the multi-sig, which also includes a Blockstream. You get the cold card Q, you get the Blockstream Jade, 2 Jades, and a stamp seed kit, and some plates for it. That's a hell of a deal. $950 Canadian for that. All that. Cold card Q, 2 Jades, stamp seed kit. That's going to set you up pretty good for the next little while. If you're kind of at that stage where you're bumping up to the next level. Okay, so we have confirmed. I mean, yeah, I was going to say they have 2 Jades in that package, so that's double. So if you use that, this is the multi-sig kit. This is I mean, you're going to be laughing, and maybe reach out if you want to get the Jade Plus instead of the Jades there. I'm sure Dale and I can put together a price or something for you. So again, that includes the cold card Q, 2 Jades, stamp seed, plates, and some trading cards too. And that is Canadian dollars too. So if you're watching this in the US, you can take about 25% off of that. So again, if you want the Jade Plus, I'm sure Dale and I can work out a deal with you. But there you go. Jake says, did Coinos get its stuff sorted out? Good question. Last time I checked, the answer to that would be no. But at least now you can see the balances on there. There's a while where, it says locked. So it seems like they're actually working in the right direction. It says, notice funds deposited before May 10th are temporarily locked while we attempt to recover from a data loss incident. So again, good reminder of not keeping too many sats on your cold storage, or not in your cold storage, in your Lightning wallets. Coinos Wallet of Satoshi, Speed Wallet. Do not keep too many sats in those wallets because stuff like this does happen. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get these sats back and unlocked, but it's a little bit stressful. I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit stressful. So Dale says a general admission ticket to the conference is 750 Canadian. So you basically get a full, pretty much 2-for-1 there between the multi-sig package and the general admission ticket. Basically a buy one, get one free. That's pretty badass. Thank you, Dale. I'm glad you shared that today because I think that there are some people out there who are looking for a ticket. So crazy not to take advantage of something like that. I'm pretty sure you can pay in Bitcoin as well on Dale's site. But where are we here? 125. Okay. So this is the last thing I want to talk about today. This is the only thing I want to talk about today, but we're an hour and a half into it. So let me bring this up. Sent. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I titled the show today, the Bitcoin is slowly slipping away. What the heck does that mean? Well, I'm going to show you here. This is a little concerning. I'm not going to lie. This is pretty concerning for Bitcoin. And this is the corporations are now the biggest Bitcoin purchaser of 2025, surpassing both ETFs and individual investors. So we've been talking about this quite consistently on the show, the fact that individuals still hold about 69-70% of all of the Bitcoin that exists today. But as you can see here, that is starting to slowly change. Companies have expanded their Bitcoin holdings by 157,000 Bitcoin. So you can see here, this is in 2025, the change in Bitcoin ownership. So businesses, public companies, Strategy announced that since they adopted the Bitcoin strategy back in August 2020, they were the first ones to do it. There's been 70 public companies who are now adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. I mean, that's massive. For one, like that's such a good thing for Bitcoin, and was eventually bound to happen. But you can see what's happening here. Businesses, public companies picked up 157,000 Bitcoin. Funds and ETFs, the BlackRocks, Fidelities, they picked up 50,000 Bitcoin. Other, I don't know what other would be. Oh, it says includes change in Bitcoin to be mined, Bitcoin held by smart contracts, and estimated Bitcoin lost. Okay, so 21,000 Bitcoin gone. And governments, look at that, 19,000 Bitcoin going to governments. But the shitty thing and the concern here is that individuals lost 250,000 Bitcoin. And do you think, thinking logically here, do you think that is going to change? Is it going to stop and go back the other way where these public companies are going to start selling their Bitcoin and individuals are going to get that back? No. Once these Bitcoin leave the individual wallets and go into corporations, ETFs, governments, they're never coming back, ever. And that's scary. And again, we got to keep in mind here that Bitcoin is not proof of stake, which means that the more Bitcoin you hold, that does not give you more influence over the network. It's important to differentiate that. That's Ethereum, that's Solana, that's XRP. The more tokens you hold, the more influence you have, and the more ability that you have to change the code, change the network. But with Bitcoin, it doesn't actually matter how many Bitcoin you hold. But the point is, with Bitcoin, we want the average person to be owning Bitcoin. We don't want governments getting richer. We don't want BlackRock getting richer. We want to get richer. We have the opportunity today to get richer with Bitcoin. So with that in mind, the one thing that I would say the most obvious part to that is that, again, I talked about having to sell some Bitcoin today. And when I did sell it, I haven't sold it yet, but when I do go to sell it, it's not going to Bitcoin Well. It's not going to ShakePay. It's not going to Coinbase. I'm selling it peer-to-peer with another person or a couple people. So that's important because if you're all in on Bitcoin, you're going to have to spend your Bitcoin at some point, some of it, right? There's unexpected costs that come up all the time. Or if you just want to spend it, we're only alive for so long. So you have to enjoy some of the work that you've been doing. So I had to sell some Bitcoin, but again, I didn't sell it to an exchange, because once that Bitcoin goes to an exchange, it's going to Strategy, it's going to BlackRock, it's going to the US government or a state pension fund or a state reserve. So if you do ever have to sell Bitcoin or spend your Bitcoin, make sure that you're buying it from a Bitcoin business, or even better, you're selling it to somebody else within your Bitcoin community. And if you're looking for a Bitcoin community, this is where the magic happened. This is where I've bought Bitcoin in the last month. This is where I had to sell Bitcoin. And it is the Living in the Future community. It is the best signal in Bitcoin. And the reason I say the best signal in Bitcoin is because we have a very active, very helpful signal chat with over 120 Bitcoiners in there from across the world. And people ask questions, people answer questions, people buy Bitcoin, people sell Bitcoin. It is a beautiful community there. So I put the link there in the live chat. I'm also going to put the link in the pinned comment of this video in case you're watching this later or the replay version tonight. So consider that. Number one, make sure that if you do have to spend your Bitcoin, do not sell it back to the exchanges. You can buy from the exchanges, but do not ever sell it back to the exchanges, because we're never getting that back. Us as individuals, as the average people here, we will never get those sats back. So kind of scary, I'm not going to lie, but it's important to talk about. Again, I think that there's more people should be talking about that. And that's why I wanted to dedicate some time, my own scarce time today, to talk about that. So last couple things I'll say here is that I already see a couple of emails about these hoodies. So we have two largest, 2 XLs, and 1 triple XL. We are right about Bitcoin. The nicest hoodie I found, super good quality. They're made from proof of ink in the US. They're Bitcoiners. And so they are a little more expensive than your average hoodie, but totally worth it. So we have those left of the limited supply, limited edition. With the 88s on the back. And so I have 5 of those left. And then they're also going to be available on the Proof of Ink website. Here comes Arnie, I think. But those ones won't be the limited edition ones. There he is. So shoot me an email if you want to grab one. I already see a couple of emails there, so act fast if you want one. You're going to get one of the limited edition ones. There's King Arn. Hey, buddy. Hey. What a guy. Shows up 2 minutes left and ignores me. Wow. So that's for the hoodie. And also, if you want more information on the super backed security inheritance solution that we have, the best. It is the best. And I have no issue saying that, because there is no better way to secure your Bitcoin and to ensure that your family's going to get the Bitcoin that you do have than super backed. Hey, Arnie. He's tired. Tired fella. He's feeling good again, so he's been going absolutely ballistic around here. So he's a little exhausted. And he's breathing hard right now. Try and do a show here, bud. Tom says, selling it implies fiat. Exchanging it for value is what we do. Funny that we buy it off an exchange implies fiat value. I mean, that's kind of the only way you can get it right now, unless you're buying it from somebody like me who's looking to sell Bitcoin. But yeah, there's really no other options at the moment. So anyways, I just want to say thank you once again. I know I kind of went in a little bit deeper today talking about it, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this channel. We got to 10,000 subscribers. I never would have imagined that we'd get there when we started this channel. I just came on YouTube one day. I thought the shows were going to be 10 minutes long. I was going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin. I did it early so that nobody would show up and watch the shows. And it's pretty crazy to see how far this has come in a year and a half. So the channel itself, the community, living the future, the business we're building, Bitcoin Citadel, everything. It's just crazy. But I mean, that's what consistency does. So if you're looking to do anything in life worthwhile, the best thing you can do is just stick with it. And there's so many people out there who have ideas. There's so many people that try things. And there's so many people who are this close to being successful and they stop. And you just have to get over that hump. You just have to push a little bit more. And whenever your mind tells you to stop, that you can't do anymore, that's when you have to do it. That's how you build that. And so every time, think about it. Think about that as an opportunity. Every time something comes into your mind about, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe it's too hard. I don't feel like doing it. I'd rather just sit on the couch and watch Netflix. Every time you say, no, fuck that, I'm going to do it, you're building yourself. So thank you everybody for the support, for the zaps. It means the world to me and Arnie. And we're not going to be here tomorrow because it is Wednesday. So with that, not only do you get the best signal in Bitcoin, but you also get our proof of work show. And I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow talking about tools. That's the show. And I came across one in the last couple of days here that I cannot wait to share. I shared it with the 365-day community yesterday. But so that's tomorrow. That's going to be the show. There's going to be no show on the channel here. But if you don't want to miss it, if you want to be part of our proof of work course, you can join the Patreon here. $5 a month. $5 a month. And if you'd rather pay in Bitcoin, you can email me too, and we can set that up. So that's what I got for you today. Lots going on, but you're in the right spot. Best in the biz. I don't know about that, but we're working at it. So thank you once again, everybody. I hope you have the best Tuesday of your life today. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, or we'll see you on Thursday morning.